Good morning, people. Here we are. We've got some heads here out of the oven. These are 350 Chevrolet heads. These have been thermal clean, but they're not very clean right now. Everything is just reduced down to an ash. Hope you can see here. So we're going to clean these heads up. This motor head was extremely weathered, very rusty. I'm going to see what we got. We'll be back. Thanks for watching. Okay, I'm going to kind of come back here and show you. Someone got a little wild with a silicone. Of course, it burned that up. You can see here the heat crossovers all plugged up, carboned up. We'll chip and remove all that carbon out of there. The thermal cleaning does a pretty good job. You can see it just busted that right out of there. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, people, we're back. Just wanted to show you a couple chambers there. We scraped our gasket surface off. There's a couple chambers that hadn't been done. You can see in those chambers it's cleaned down to bare metal. We haven't done the ports yet. You can see down, we've got a lot of that out of those ports. The intake gasket scraped off. I tend to scrape everything off with a gasket scraper. We tend to really not use roll-lock disc. We'll come back and we'll show you some surface conditioning tricks that we use here at the shop. Okay, we're back. You can see we've got our gasket surfaces cleaned. I'm going to show you guys a little technique that we do. We clean them with a gasket scraper. You can see on this one exhaust seat, we've got some rust pits. I don't know if that'll clean up and doing the valve job. These heads have been rebuilt once before. We will Magnaflux them. We'll see if they're good. I'll try to do a video on that. You look at these intake surfaces. We've cleaned them off perfectly flat. We're back to the original machining. We've not disrupted anything. There again, we not use a roll-lock disc. We not disturb the factory machining. You can still see the factory machining marks. I'll show you the technique that we use. And this head's basically ready to be machined and final cleaning. And the final cleaning after all the machine work done will be done in a jet wash with a biodegradable soap. Thank you. Okay, as you can see here, this is everything. It's just like a dirt. Basically everything in one head. We already done the block. The block was just as bad as the heads, maybe even worse. This will all be swept up. We've not generated any sludge. We're not creating a bunch of sludge and hazardous waste. We're not running it down the drain. Just want to let you know that. Thermal clean. Okay, people, I'm back. I don't know if you can see this. We've got a regular file. We've got a high quality, I think this is a Wolf flywheel. Freudian slip there. Wolf brand file. So I've got this wrapped and I've got some 80 grit. 80 grit is pretty good, and I'm going to wrap this around my file, and you can see it's a little bit wider than my file, and I'm going to take my fingers like this, my thumb and my index fingers, and I'm going to pinch that sandpaper on there, and then I'm going to file with this sandpaper on this head, making it flat, removing the burrs, the old gasket surface, but I am not going to knock this gasket surface out of flat. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to work at a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to end up, and I'm going to have like a little crosshatch in this gasket surface. I'm not going long ways. I'm never leaving the deck surface. I'm not using a block of wood. I'm using a file, something that's got rigidity. And I've got my palm, my fingers, I'm using my fingers to pinch that abrasive on there, and then I'm just using my body weight to put pressure down there. My sandpapers get a little warm, but you get the idea. I'm going to show you here. I don't know if you can see this, but I've got a crosshatch in there. But you can see the original imprint from the shim head gasket. I have not dipped that surface whatsoever. I'll never have a customer come into me and say, hey, you cleaned my head up, you made it warp, or you gave a reason for it to be surfaced. Not the case. I've been prepping gasket surfaces for more than 45 years. I've been doing it this way a long time. This is something everybody can do, and it works. Consistent results. You can use it on your exhaust manifold, gasket surfaces, your intake. It works, people. Okay, you can see I've done the same thing on the exhaust surfaces. Knocked the burrs down. We had some high spots on the side of our bolt holes. You can see that. I've just worked that down to the surface. I'll be back. Okay, people, here's intake surface, not been sanded yet. Same technique. And I'll start over here on one end, the 45-degree angle, or as close to it as you can get, whatever's comfortable for you. Keeping it flat is better than pretty. Pretty's good, but only if it's machined that way, to look that way. If this is what you're doing at home, if you're the home gamer, this is all you need to do. You might have your own technique. This is what I do. I never tell a person what they should do. This is what I do. And if you can see the high and low spots. That's where the factory ran their mill across there. That's nice. Properly prepped right there. Ready for final washing and installation. So as you can see, we've got our other head done over here. Got this one done. Looks really good. You can see here, this is like it's like a dirt. It's like a dirt. You know how much sludge that would be if that was still suspended in a vat, being hosed off, washed down the drain. It'd be a lot. It's an arduous task to do this. I don't necessarily enjoy it. Cleaning is 90% of the job, guys. And that's success. Having it clean and your prep work done is 80 and 90% of the job. It's hard work. No one likes it. but it's worth it. Okay, in this next part, we're setting up our Magnaflux. This atomizer has got magnetic particles in it. They're actually a metallic. They will be attracted to the magnet, so if we have a crack, it'll pull the particles. It'll create a pull on each side of the crack, and we'll see if we've got a crack. I'm going to check this one head out first. Okay guys, we got a bad head. You can see we've got a bad crack here. Kind of makes me wish I would have checked that before I cleaned it. Didn't show up till we cleaned it, but you can see the crack protrudes out of the combustion chamber by the edge of the seat where the seat was originally machined next to the chamber, protrudes out of there and goes back into the deck, all the way back into here. This head's no good. Now, I fix cracks, but it isn't worth it to fix this head. Okay, we just checked head number 2. No lines, nothing to suspect that we have a crack anywhere. This head looks suitable for rebuild, so I'll see if I've got another one to make a pair. Okay, in this next part, I thought since I had this head back here and it's already cleaned and prepped, a good one, I'll go ahead and I'm going to check this for straight. This is a precision straight edge. We're just going to see what we have here. You notice I check at an angle. Okay, right here you can see that's 5 thousandths. So a good rule of thumb, because I've done this a long time, a good rule of thumb is whatever you can find, and it's got a twist in it. It's not, this is the reason you check diagonally, not this way. That doesn't tell you anything. Diagonally is what you want to do, because you always want to check for twist. Yeah, you can see right there, all through there. I don't know if you can see with my arm in the way. So this head's 5 thousandths. So since I've done this a number of times, usually whatever you can find with a straight edge, the good rule of thumb is it's going to take 2 thousandths more than whatever you can find with that straight edge to clean it. So a lot of guys say, well, if it's within 2 or 3, it's within spec. If it's 3, it's going to take 5 to clean it. So it's not in spec. And don't ever assume anything. And guys, if you've got your engine out, check your decks. If your heads are bad, your block's probably bad. And a lot of this stuff, when it was machined, wasn't really good when it was brand new. And of course, you know, cast iron's kind of like a 2x4. It ages, it moves around, it stress relieves through heating and cooling cycles. And ends up, by the time all the stress comes out, that's what you end up with. And of course, obviously this motor been overheated. You've seen the bad crack in the other head. Thanks. I don't know if you can see my artwork here. I kind of put a couple lines of zone. That'll give me a place when I set it up in the surfacer to really check for a low place. Of course, I'm going to set my ends and my corners up, and I'm going to divide out the twist. So let's say if it's high over here on this side and high over here, I'm going to divide out that twist. I'm going to try to get it end for end. We're going to try to get this as some people, they get it close and they set the machine on 10 and whack it. I don't agree with that. You know, we're not in about to cut people's heads crooked. We're not into that. So we want to take off the least amount of material as possible. So I've got 5 thousandths on there, so I've got a reference. I've got a plan when I proceed with this project. Okay, the cracked head. I got a little circle there, circling the area. Beware. Don't want someone to use this. You know, I'll save this. I always show the customer the old parts. This is what he brought me. He can see that we tried to clean it up and get it prepped to rebuild. This is a budget economy rebuild. This young man is trying to get this car running. It's a 75 El Camino, and he's trying to get this. His grandfather helped him get this car, and he's trying to get this running so that he can take his grandfather for a ride. And I thought, how noble and honorable, and that a grandson would do this with his grandfather. And so, and his grandfather's health is not the best, so I'm hoping I get this done so they can go have that ride that they want, that he'll always remember. Thank you.